I still tell people this, and I don't know if I can say one of your jokes, but you're talking about just hanging out with Kid Rock, and you were like, he had the biggest pile of cocaine you ever saw, and he was like, we'll just chip away at it.
For sure.
And I love that. I think that's so funny.
Well, thank you, man. When it came time to film that special, that one particular bit, the celebrity cocaine stories, I was convinced to leave it out. They said, like, you know what, for your special, like throwing celebrities under the bus for doing stuff like that is not a good look. Don't do it. And so I omitted that from the special.
Oh, yeah.
And then years went by, and I was like, man, I never did anything with that bit. So then I made it into a YouTube video. I reshot the bit. I hired an animator to animate Kid Rock and like let the stories come to life. And then I put it on YouTube, where it's celebrity cocaine stories is sitting at like 10 million plus views on YouTube.
It's so great. I mean, the Lindsay Lohan stuff you had. I mean, all that stuff was so good and so funny. It's like, you know, when Jackass came out, I'm 42. It was like, this was like senior year of high school for me. This was Jackass and the Tom Green Show were what I was just soaking up.
Wow, 11.4 million.
Yeah. That's like Tales from the Tour Bus sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good fun, man. And again, thank you for that. We got our money back on the gnarly comedy special. We went ahead and doubled down. Netflix passed on the gnarly special, and I doubled down and started filming my next one, which was The Bucket List. And I forget at which point. I think I did a reference cut, sent it to Netflix, and they were like, whoa, that one was a problem because I actually ejaculated on camera.
When Netflix passes, let's say on Gnarly, do they give you a reason why they pass, or they're just like, nah, we're good?
I can't remember because I wasn't in the room. And I don't think I was even in the room on The Bucket List. But
when I've had people pass on things, they don't tell you. They never tell me why.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote an animated show for Hulu and during COVID, and they loved it. And then it was told that was about growing up in the trailer park, and then I was told that King of the Hill was coming back, and felt like it was too much of the same thing. So, and I love King of the Hill, so I hoped it would come back. I've still not seen it. It's like, if you're gonna drop my show, at least bring it back.
Yeah, for sure.
But we had a great show. I love doing that stuff. I mean, that stuff is so fun. I like stand-up more than I like any of the other stuff, but it's fun to write things. You just gotta, especially animated, these things come to life, and I don't know, I think it's fun.
So you wrote the show? I mean, did you do like a reel or a trailer for it, or did you just like have a concept and you pitched them the concept?
We had art done, and then we wrote a script.
Yeah.
But so we went through all the pitch meetings, and we did all the thing. We had a studio.
How much pitch materials did you bring into the pitch? Was any of it actually animated, or was it just...
No, it was we had drawings.
Yeah.
But we had a packet. We had all the characters drawn, so we would go through. I had one of the writers, he wrote for Family Guy, and so he was in there to he was really filling in on the technical stuff, and I was making jokes. I like pitch meetings. I think they're really fun, like in person kind of, because I don't know, I feel like they get stiff, and I don't know, if you can bring some jokes in, they're into it.
Sure.
I always get laughs in pitch meetings. I think it's so fun because it's
getting
so
laughs
awkward.
And getting deals are two different.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I got a few. I got more laughs than I've gotten deals, but I got a few deals.
That's great, man.
So, yeah.
Where was the Hulu meeting? Here in Nashville, or did you have to go out to LA?
No, I go out to LA to do it.
And you just go pitch a bunch of different networks?
Yeah.
They have like a pitch week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been all over the place. It's so fun. I mean, because I love living in Nashville. I just want to live like a pretty normal life. And but it's fun to go to LA and bounce around to the networks and,
Sure.
Yeah.
How long have you lived in Nashville?
10 years.
10 years. And how long have you lived in this spot?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Alabama, left when I was 21. I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, where I lived for 10 years. I love Charleston. Then I moved here to pursue comedy, which was a weird move, I think, a lot of people think, but I wanted to work the road, and Nashville's a really central location for working the road.
That's why every tour bus company is in Nashville.
And so, and I love country music, so I moved to Nashville, started working the road. I went full-time in 6 months being in Nashville, and then, so I've been...
Full-time meaning?
meaning I was able to pay all the bills I had with comedy.
Wow.
Now I had very little. I paid off my car. I had really low rent. I had no family, no wife. So I was like very low overhead.
A low bar.
Yes. But yeah, I was just hustling, featuring,
What was your vocation before going full time in comedy?
Well, I sold pesticides to Lowe's and Home Depot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I also waited tables. But yeah, for 10 years, I sold pesticides to Lowe's and Home Depot.
And selling pesticides as a rep for a pesticide company?
Yeah, so it's a nationwide company, and then I go in and I build displays, and I try to get the store to order more stuff, and then I tear down the competition's displays, and I throw their displays in the trash compactor, and as my friend Greg Warren calls it, real dirt bag tactics. And
When you're going in and pitching these pesticides, are you throwing in jokes in there?
well, not back then. I mean, back then I was drinking a lot. I was hungover every day, and I smoked a lot of cigarettes, and I just felt miserable all the time. So I basically just roll in. I was bloated, and I just, I was still pretty good at the job, but I don't think anyone thought I was very funny.
Wow.
I mean, I think when people actually found out I did comedy as a hobby, they were like, "Oh, you're not even funny."
Not even enjoyable to be around.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I hate this job."
That's great, man. So you've been sober since 2012,
Yeah.
and comedy came before sobriety or as a result of sobriety?
Comedy came first. I started doing comedy about 2008. And, it was just, everything was just like, let's go do comedy. Let's drink while we do it. Let's drink after we do it. And it was just a party, All we were doing was, we were all working our day jobs, and then we go do comedy and drink. And then I quit drinking in 2012 because I felt so bad. I just was so miserable, and I quit drinking, and I started to feel good, and like comedy took off in a big way real fast. Like suddenly, I lost weight. I felt better. My head was clear. I could write better jokes, and it just took off so fast.
When you quit drinking, was it like just because it made sense and like, oh man, I should just quit drinking? Or was it like, I got to quit drinking and it was an ordeal and you had to like get help?
No, I really quit. Years ago, a guy I used to drink with who was an alcoholic gave me the big blue book from Alcoholics Anonymous. And I read the book, and that was, I still drank for like 4 years after that, but I read the book, and I was like, oh, because I always imagined alcoholism as like just movie alcoholism, like drinking alone, drinking in the morning. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's not me. I don't drink alone. I like to party, so I wasn't hanging out by myself, and I was always out at the bar. So I'm like, I'm just social. But then you start to read, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of stories like mine. Like I'm more of like a binge drinker. Like I'm fine to not drink, but a couple of beers and I'm like ready to go. And then there's no off switch. I'm blacking out. I'm throwing up. I'm losing friends, and I loved it. I mean, it was almost like an adrenaline rush to like get kicked out of a bar and real annoying stuff. I couldn't stand to be around myself now as a sober. I would hate myself as a drinker.
Yeah.
Were you drinking before you went on stage? Because there's always like that, like, okay, I'm sober now. I don't want to get up in front of people, like the stage fright.
I would have a couple of beers, but I also would host open mics, so I would like, progressively throughout the show, I would get drunker as it went. I used to host trivia in these bars, and it'd be 2 hours. By the end of the night, I'm shotgunning beers in the kitchen, and by the end of the night, I'm struggling to do math and read the questions. People would go, "Quit drinking," and I'm like, that's why I'm doing this. So I'm getting paid to be able to drink. If but yeah, I mean, I would have a couple of beers, but after I quit drinking, I almost quit comedy because I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing now. I don't even know what I'm doing with my life.
Uncomfortable in your own skin.
But I just kept doing it, and then I was like, I'm actually so much better at this. I'm not really that uncomfortable up here. I mean, no more than I even still am now. I look so uncomfortable on stage, and I say that to people. I go, people say you look uncomfortable, and I'm like, yeah, well, I am. It's not natural to just be standing up here like this.
Yeah.
It just being like, hey, listen to me for a while. You know, I don't do anything physical. I'm just standing there talking. So it's like, it's not a natural thing. And it's like the everybody expects that oh, you're just supposed to be comfortable and this is what you do. And I want you to hold the mic like this and I want you to pace like this. And it's like, that's not how everybody does it. Everybody's got their own way, you know?
It's been a long time since I gave you guys an update about my hot sauce, and I have big news. We are going into grocery stores because we've got a label without the word butthole on it. And I know that might be upsetting to a lot of you, but the butthole version is still available on Amazon. And we have a new flavor, Heavenly Jalapeno, which is ridiculously good. I mean, what can I say? I love my hot sauce, and I love it when you guys support it. So get it on Amazon, stevo.com, and soon enough, in a grocery store near you. Thank you guys. I love you.